So every high-level barber that I've coached and worked with over the last 5 years who's making anywhere between 10 to 20K per month really all have one thing in common. They all know how to get higher paying clients into their business at a very high volume. And there's really only one reason why most barbers who post on social media fail to get over 50 higher paying clients in a single month. And the reason isn't like, let's say, your city, location, skill set, or even your experience. Now, some of you might be thinking that, like, oh man, you've just been lazy. But deep down, you know you haven't been doing the work that you should be doing on your marketing to improve the damn thing. And I can tell you right now, the laziness issue, that's not even the problem at the end of the day. The real reason why you're not getting higher paying clients comes down to the fact that you are repeating patterns of unsuccessful barbers. You do things like pass out business cards, you take walk-ins, you come in early, stay late, cut as much as you can. But none of this moves the fucking needle forward at the end of the day. And you know this deep down. And these patterns are the ones that, like, honestly, you've created in, like, your business because you haven't fucking made a change yet. And they keep you feeling stuck and in a loop and in, like, more like an endless cycle. Now, the great thing about a pattern is that a pattern created can also be a pattern that can be broken. And on this podcast, I'll cover the 6 steps to breaking that pattern so you know how to get yourself out of this rut. And that way you can stop feeling like you're living the same day, day after day, kind of in like this like dreadful place. Because I know for myself, when I was a barber, I lived that shit every single day. And it's not the best place to be in mentally, physically, emotionally. As a man, you question your worth. As a man, you question, like, is this all my purpose is just to make this amount of income? Like, what the fuck is the purpose to life? And what I found was in the first step overall is you have to understand the cycle you're going through. Really this habit loop that you're going through, right? And it really follows like these 3 points. Number 1 comes comfort. Number 2 comes, let's say, hesitation. And then number 3 comes distraction. Now, what do I mean by this? Comfort comes from just getting by or just doing enough to where you're not struggling anymore. And this came from simply, you got yourself in a fuck situation. You started making a little bit of fucking money. You stopped being like, let's say, in scarcity mode of like trying to pay rent or pay bills. You're not somebody who's fucking struggling. But you're still not where you want to be at. And that can feel very comfortable because you have no reason to push this thing forward. You have no purpose, no why to push this thing forward. And when you don't have that thing there, that driving force that you know has been missing. You've been missing it for a while. You felt it when you first became a barber. You came out like fucking wildfire, right? Came out attacking this fucking thing. But at some point in time, that fire was lost. You got comfortable just making the money you were making overall. Comfortable being with the clientele you have right now. Comfortable with, let's say, your marketing. You stop pushing. And that's why things feel like dreadful. Things feel just kind of like bland overall. And when you fall into that comfort loop, you fall into a level of hesitation. Meaning you stop taking the action like, oh man, I don't really have to do this. Oh man, it's weird. It's a weird space to be in, right? Because the results you are getting, you know you want fucking more. But because, like, let's say, you don't feel that driving push behind your ass to get moving forward, it almost feels like you're just flat. It really just comes down to you're not deciding to take an action to grow. And what happens is when you stay in this level of hesitation, you stay in this level of like, you know, it's kind of like you're just coasting in the abyss. Of course life happens. You become distracted. Things pull you away. Your attention gets pulled away from some other fucking family drama, some girl drama, some like friend drama. Something happens, right? And then you just forget about it and you're like, oh, well, this isn't the biggest problem in my life. I'll say bullshit right there. Because every single one of you who's listening to this episode on Spotify or Apple Podcasts overall, you know damn well if you're making 20K per month right now, you'll be in such a better fucking position mentally, physically, emotionally, everywhere in between. A lot of your problems can be swept away if you just made some more fucking money. Yet, why do you not push yourself to that further the business? Well, because we get stuck in this loop. So then we come to step number 2, which is understanding how to actually get that drive back, how to get the things back overall. Because for me, when I was stuck in that loop, I would just scroll endlessly. I would go out, kind of numb myself, smoke weed, drink, all this stuff, just to distract, like, away from the fact of, like, I'm not living up to my fullest potential. I'm not living up to my purpose. And you have to understand there needs to be an emotional purpose in this. It can't just be a logical one where you're like, okay, cool, I want to make fucking money right now. I want to grow. Like, logically, that makes sense to all of us, right? So why the fuck do we keep on staying in the same position? It's because there's no emotional drive. There's no emotional tie-in for you to continue pushing. And you have to simply think of it like this. Why the fuck do you want to grow? Why do you want to actually do better for yourself? Because at the end of the day, if you don't have that thing, you're never going to get the higher paying clients do the work, because there is a big skill gap in your marketing right now. The barbers who are getting upwards of 50 to 100 new higher paying clients into their business month after month, they know how to market themselves. They have that skill set. Like, legit, if you break it down like this, the reason why you have a distance between you and somebody else is because they are more skilled at something. They're not more gifted than you. They're not, like, more special than you. They're not whatever. They are more skilled at something. And that something is the marketing point. Now, this thing, like I said before, it can't be logical, right? We all know, you and I both know right now, you should be making more money. If you were making more money, like, life would be easier. We understand that. But every decision that we make in life, it all comes from an emotion. For me, right, personally, I talk about this a lot. My father passed away when I was 21 years old due to cancer. And that brought a lot of, like, a realization of, like, I look at a lot of life, even still today, and I think about it, I'm like, fuck, every single person I see today, we are all gonna die, you know? Like, and we are all gonna be, like, old and, like, non-existent. And when that happens, I don't know what happens after you die. Nobody really does, right? Until that time happens. So it's like, it's a big unknown. Like, does life just stop? Do things keep going, or what, based on whatever you believe in overall? Like, what happens? And so when I come to that point of, like, okay, I just really think about, like, I will no longer be here on this earth creating. What will I have done? What will I have done up until that point that I would have been proud about? What could I have done? What would I have been pissed about if I let go? Or what would I be pissed about, let's say, after I die, and all of a sudden, you know, I get to rewatch my life? What would I be pissed off the most about? Would I be pissed off about the fact that, like, man, I tried to grow my business but it didn't work? Or would I be pissed off at the fact that I thought I was trying, but I wasn't really pushing myself the way I thought, the way I should have? Because I knew I should have been doing the things I should have been doing in terms of growing a skill set, developing, let's say, my marketing overall, to grow and scale my business. That right there would have been the biggest pain of regret. And so when you attach an emotion to your current situation, you attach an emotion to where you're currently at right now. It could be pain, it could be anger, it could be, you want some type of, like, you're just pissed off at something. Like, those are great emotions to use. Once you have that thing, though, right, that emotional tie-in, you need to be able to raise your standard of where you're currently at. This means, again, too, make your low value behavior unacceptable, right? And you all know what the fuck you're doing. You're sleeping in. You're pressing the snooze button when you shouldn't be. You're doom scrolling the couch for hours. And your work doesn't get complete overall. You go out, you smoke weed, you drink. You just waste time. You know, a lot of barbers complain like, oh, I don't got time to grow my business. Dude, listen. The average person spends 2 hours a day on their phone. The average person picks up their phone 58 times a day, and that's the average. More times than not, you're probably going to be doing way more than the average. And, like, what is this all for? Distraction? Why are we not, like, you have time to be able to utilize and grow and scale your business. And so if you want to be able to raise your standard up to be able to, again, we never, like, let's say, achieve our highest dreams and goals, we always fall to our lowest standards. Like, again, if we didn't have lowest standards, we'd all be fucking bums who haven't showered in 3 fucking years. But you're going to shower every day because that's your lowest standard. You know you're going to fucking wash your ass. But why are you not doing the same thing with your business? Why are you not raising that level up? Once you go ahead and understand that, like, you have to raise your standards up for yourself, whether it be education, whether it be stop doing the fucking dumb shit of like distracting yourself. You then have to redesign your environment to support the action that you want. That's conducive with the action that you want. This means like throw out the old mess. Look at your room right now. Is your bed fucking made? Where's the trash at? Are your clothes and all your laundry done? Are there dishes piled up in the fucking sink overall? What's the nature of your car? Is it dirty? Is it messy? Like, clean this shit up, right? Your space that you live in represents your mind at the end of the day. If it's dirty, messy, all this clutter, other stuff, like, I will judge motherfuckers all day long. If I look at if I walk into their house, if I go into like their apartment, if I get in their car and everything's all dusty, old, broken down and shit like this, I'm like, this is a direct representation of your mind. Because at the end of the day, what we see outwards is just a reflection of what we are inwards. And so if you want to start changing, let's say, who you are inwards, one of the easiest ways to do is start changing your habits outwards, meaning in the physical, right? Start cleaning up after yourself. Start making your bed. Make things nice, tight, and detailed. Don't leave details out of space. Like, just don't throw the fucking, like, covers over like, it's good enough. Good enough's not fucking good enough. Be very fucking detailed. When I make my bed, I make sure I do everything correct. When I clean my place, I make sure I clean it to this level that I want to have my business at. Because I know that it's going to be how I do one thing is how I do most things. So the level of detail that I take in taking care of myself, in taking care of the place I live at, in taking care of my health, taking care of my food, is going to be a representation of how I take care of myself and my business. Now, of course, you can't just make your bed and make $20K per month, but it's these small, tiny wins that build up to themselves. It is these small, like, let's say, it's almost like you're proving to yourself that you are someone who can be disciplined about details. And we all know details fucking matter in business. I've never seen a business who has not been detail-oriented who hasn't fucking succeeded. Look at your phone. Remove apps that don't grow your business. Remove all the apps that distract you. Of course, we still need TikTok and Instagram, unfortunately, because that's how we grow our business. Maybe even YouTube. But you don't need fucking ESPN. You don't need all these other news apps. You don't need Twitter. What are you doing with this fucking shit, right? Don't keep bad food in the house. It's just going to, it's going to create waste. You're going to feel fucking bad. Wherever the gut is a representation of how you're going to be able to feel. Now, once you redesign your environment to support your action, you also need to build discipline through tiny, repeatable wins. We talked about this just now. Where, again, too, if you do things to the T, you make your bed, you clean your living space overall. These small wins, they seem so minuscule, but they build confidence for you to be able to take bigger actions. It can be just like, dude, start going to the fucking gym. Start taking care of yourself. Treat yourself as if you are someone who actually cares about your success. Because the tiny wins lead to medium-sized wins. Medium-sized wins lead to bigger wins. Tiny actions lead to bigger actions eventually, and big actions will actually grow and scale your business. Get you higher paying clients. Again, is this any social media tactic? Fuck no. But I'm pretty sure you've seen a lot of my social media content already on like how to grow and scale. Yet, you're still fucking struggling. Why? Because it's not about the content tips, guys. It's really not. It's about who you become in the process. It's about developing yourself and pushing yourself to become better. Because the business will never grow if you yourself are limited in your own skill set of becoming the entrepreneur that is required to grow and scale that business. And that kind of leads me into the last point, which is acting from a future self identity. Think about it like this. If you had the body of your dreams, six-pack, whatever it might be overall, and you ran a $20K per month business as a barber charging higher prices, how hard, how focused would you be? And how hard would you be working every single day? How locked in would you be? How on point with everything? Think about this. If you want the body of your dreams, look at your fridge. Would you be eating the food that you're eating right now? If you had a $20K per month business, would you be doing the actions every single day that you are doing right now? Because if those are not the actions, then what are you waiting for? Are you waiting for success to come first so that you then start doing those things? Because here's the fucking real wake-up call. You have to perform the actions of growth and success before you even have growth and success. It's not the other way around. You don't all of a sudden start going to the gym and working out hard and eating correctly once you have the six-pack and you're just ripped and 10% body fat. You do that before. You don't go to the hospital once your broken arm is healed. You go to the hospital once the arm is broken. And you don't look to go and get help growing your business once you've actually grown the business. You do it when you're down and when you're struggling. You do it before when you need the help. And you need to be thinking, again, as the barber, like I talk to so many barbers on like calls every single week, and every single barber when I talk to them, right, I'll be like, okay, if you were able to hit your goal, what would that allow you to do? And everyone says, man, I would start investing. So you would start investing in yourself and in your business, in coaching, in whatever else it might be. Once you get success, it's a little bit backwards. Because for me, I started investing in my own business when I had $400 in my bank account. I went all the way the fuck in. Because I knew I could have been like, oh, I need to get more money. The reason why I didn't have money is because, again, I didn't know how to fucking get the money, to make the money overall, to grow and scale a business. I needed to get the help in order to go ahead and get to that position. And I put myself in a position where I was like, you know what, no matter what, this is why I'm going to fucking succeed. Because at the end of the day, I'm going all in. And someone who is in a quote-unquote better position, more financially capable than myself, they're not going to fucking treat this with respect. They're already comfortable. I'm going to fucking succeed because I have no other choice or option to fail. My only option is success. And a lot of barbers, and a lot of you listening to this at the end of the day, you are thinking on this thing super fucking backwards. And so if you actually want to get higher paying clients, yes, you have to do the social media stuff. But at the end of the day, you heard all the social media stuff. You don't need another tip overall. What you need is actual accountability. What you need is actually somebody to help you along the way. Because at this point, you haven't been able to do it on your own. And so right now I have two asks and two requests from you. My first request is, number one, if this podcast brought you any sort of value, my first request is this. Screenshot this episode. Take the screenshot and post to your Instagram story and tag me in it so I can see who's watching. Because I love to see who's actually taking this shit seriously, and almost use it as a calling card. Use this podcast and posting this podcast as your calling card that you're going to fucking make a change from here on out. And if you don't even have, like, let's say, I don't know, you don't want to go ahead and post on your Instagram, share it with one barber. Share it with one other barber who's going to keep you accountable to this shit. Be like, hey, bud, listen to this podcast. Me and you, we're going to fucking ramp this shit up. But you need some type of fucking accountability. Now, that's my first request. My second request, listen, if you've been watching my stuff for a while, you know at the end of the day I run a company called The New Era Barber, where we help barbers grow and scale 20 and 30K per month by getting higher paying clients into their business. We helped over 1,400 other barbers do this in the US, Canada, and Australia. My question to you is, why have we not started working together? If you've been watching this for the last 3 months, 6 months, 2 weeks, 2 years, why are you actually delaying? Why are you waiting until your arm is healed to then go to the hospital? Because we both know the results have shown it. Osvaldo, one of our private clients, went from making 5K per month to 10K per month in the first 30 days of working with us, getting over 175 new clients. Not because all of a sudden he started posting, because he actually got the help. He was already posting on social media before. He actually got the help to implement and understand how to actually get these clients into his business. And so if you are someone who actually wants to take their business seriously, here's my second request. I will add a link down below in the description. It'll take you to a page where you can get a little bit breakdown of what we do and how we help barbers. And there'll be a link in there to book a call with me and my team. Book that call. I take these calls as well too. Some of you might be on call with me. But book the call. Because again, too, at the end of the day, for yourself, you've been delaying on this shit. And wouldn't you agree at the end of the day? Habits, good and bad, are hard to change. And a lot of you are going through bad habits right now. That's why you're struggling to get the business to scale to 10, 15, or 20K per month right now. And if I was to end this podcast right now and let's say we part ways, you stop listening to my voice, you listen to a different podcast, wherever you doom scroll on social media, it's very highly doubtful that you immediately change your habit of behavior to achieve those 20K months for yourself. In fact, for yourself, you're already aware of how easy it is for you to fall back in your old habits. The same ones that prevent you from scaling your barber business. And damn it, for myself, I just can't let you guys do that at the end of the day. If you want true lasting change, so you can finally achieve those 10, 15, 20K months overall, then you're going to need a couple things. You're going to need repeated exposure with the right resources, and you're also going to need accountability. Now, lucky for you guys listening, we at the New Era Barbering have both. The right resources with the right exposure, combined with the right accountability of one-on-one work when you work with us, but it can only be accessed when you book the call down below. And when you book a call, obviously today, you get the rest of it, the accountability and the right resources. Now, people are obviously good at one of two things. They're good at either getting results or they're good at making excuses. Now, unfortunately, these things are fucking mutually exclusive. You cannot be good at both. Can't be good at getting results and making excuses. So my suggestion to you is you at least pick one. And you have to pick one. And if you don't pick one will be picked for you. Now, obviously your excuses might not cost you money overall, but they will cost you your dignity on growth. And eventually they will cost you, obviously, your soul. And the longer you sit with your excuses, the better you get at making them. So, you can either make excuses or pick to scaling to 10, 15, or even 20K months. And here's the thing. If you only got as half as good at marketing your business on social media to convert and higher paying clients as you are with making your excuses, then you'll accomplish far more in the next few months than you ever possibly could dreamed of. And you have to think about it like this. What is it going to be at the end of the day for yourself? Continue to making your excuses overall, or booking that call through the link below. Which are going to be your future? So, with that, you guys, make a different decision. Because you have to break the pattern at some point in your life. You have to be able to make a different decision to break the pattern, understand emotionally, why are you fucking doing this? Why are you trying to grow? Set a new lowest standard, clean up your environment, and start thinking, acting like the person who already has the fucking goal. Because if you continue thinking, acting like the barber who still is only making 2, 3, 5K per month overall, who is stuck, frustrated, you will continue to get the same results. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next podcast.